students, in the previous lecture we had seen that question 2a we had already solved for 602542 October November 2019. We have already solved question 2a, and now we are going to question 2b. So there is a diagram drawn over here. This is a uniform meter rule out here. This is a uniform meter rule, and diagram is on, and this meter rule is balanced on a pivot. And this pivot is balanced on a weight they have given as 0.12 kg, and the distance between is like the whole distance of the meter rule is 100 centimeters. So this is what they have given, and they are asked to solve us these two things. So we will discuss that. So hope this is clear. Weight is attached over here. This is a uniform meter rule, and there is a pivot out here, and the pivot is approximately 10 centimeters. You can see the distance from the pivot, the center of the pivot, and the weight where it is attached is 10 centimeters.
Okay.
Hello students, in the previous lecture we had taken question 2a. Now we are coming to the question 2b, right? And this is the question 2b. This is a figure you have seen already. So this shows a uniform meter rule. PQ is a uniform meter rule. The distance in the question it is given is equal to 100 centimeters. That means from the point P to the point Q it is 100 centimeters. That means the scale uniform meter rule is of 100 centimeters. Now a weight is attached. You can see on the point Q, where the Q mark is mentioned, there is a weight attached. The weight is given in the question itself is 0.12 kg. You can see the distance from the center of the pivot. There is a pivot on which the uniform meter rule is balanced. So the center of the pivot and the distance from the point P is given as Q. Now these are the parameters which is already given in the question. The firstly what you need to find out is that draw and label the show the arrow, show the force acting on the point on the uniform rule PQ at the center of mass. What is the center of mass? If the total distance is 100, the total distance is 100, right, of the uniform rule, so it would be half, right? That it would be half of the distance. So roughly it would be exactly it would be half of 100. What is half of 100? 50. So you can directly, you can't plot a point 50 out here. What you need to do, you have already given 10 centimeters from here to the center of pivot. So what you need to do is you have to extrapolate this 10 centimeter out here. You have to measure that 4 times. So this is 10 centimeter, from here to here 20, 30, and roughly this would be 40. So this is 40 plus 10, how much it will be? 50, right? So this is the center of mass. So this is the center of mass. The force will be where? It would be downwards, right? Due to gravitation, the force will be acting downwards. So you have to show the force W. So the force W will be shown out here. So this is the first, question 2b, first part we have solved that. And coming to the second part, an arrow to show that the force R acting on the pivot. You can see the pivot out here. The force will be equal and opposite to the force W. So this would be perpendicular. So it is already mentioned out here, the force R would be on in the upward direction, it is mentioned out here, and W will be opposite to the force R. So this is W and this is R. This is how the uniform meter rule gets balanced. and this is the question 2b. So we have answered the question 2b, and I'll give you a brief overview. We had been given a uniform meter rule. The distance from P to the center of the pivot, it was given 10 centimeter. We were not given this distance. We extrapolated this distance to find the center of mass. Center of mass will be half of 100 centimeter. The total uniform rule was given. The distance from point P to Q, it was given as 100 centimeters. So half of that would be approximately 50. So we didn't have a point to show where 50 was. We extrapolated this 10 centimeter, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So that is how we got the center of mass at the center point, and the direction of the force will be downwards. Due to gravitation force, the force will be downwards. And the second part, where we need to find out the force acting on the pivot, the force acting will be opposite to this force. So this would be perpendicular to this force. Perpendicular distance will be on the top. So R is shown out here moving upward, and W is shown moving downwards. So we have solved the second question, part B. So this is the second question, part B. Question 2, this is the second part. We have to calculate the F by calculating the moments. So we have two moments. As you have seen earlier, there are two moments. One is clockwise movement and second is anti-clockwise movement. Clockwise movement will start, as I told you earlier, it will start from this direction, right hand side to the left hand side, and anti-clockwise will be the opposite of clockwise movement. So we need to calculate F. F is the force acting from here, from down to up, that we have to calculate. Okay, so this is what we need to calculate, F. Okay, so this is uniform meter rule, as you already know that, and the weight attached over here is 0.5 kg. Okay, the distance from here to the pivot is 10 centimeter, and then from the pivot to the center is 40 centimeter. The W is the weight acting downwards. That is the weight of the meter rule, and the meter rule's weight is 0.12 kg. We need to calculate the force F. F is the force acting upward. So that is what we need to calculate. So we know clockwise movement is equal to anti-clockwise movement, because this meter rule is stationary. So clockwise movement has to equal the anti-clockwise movement. So as you are already aware, the moment how we calculate multiplying mass into the gravitational constant, and we have to multiply that with the perpendicular distance. So mass is m, g, as I told you, gravitational constant, we take 10 newtons, g, and the perpendicular distance. So this is the formula, mass into g into perpendicular distance. So here the first case, if you consider the clockwise movement, is due to W, and you can see the distance from the pivot to the center, it is 40 centimeter. So that is why we are taking, what is the weight of the uniform meter rule? It is 0.12 kg into 10 newtons. We need to convert this into 10, the force. That is why we are multiplying with 10 newtons. The exact value is 9.8, as you are already aware. We round it to 10 newtons, and into 40 centimeter. 40 centimeter is the distance from the center of the pivot to the center of the uniform meter rule. Okay, so if you multiply all this, you will get 48. You need to take your calcs and you can calculate 0.12 kg into 10 newtons into 40 centimeter. Is equal to, if you go to the other side of the equation, it shows two parameters. So why this is the addition of this? Because the weight you can see always acting downwards. What is the weight? 0.5 kg, and the uh, the force F is acting upwards. Okay, that is the anti-clockwise movement. So that is what we need to calculate. So there are two parameters we need to calculate. Is 0.5 kg, that is downwards. So this kg we need to convert into the force. So we can multiply 0.5 kg into 10 newtons, okay, mg, and plus the force into the distance. The perpendicular distance would be from here, the center, to the end of the scale, uniform meter rule. So from here to the end would be minus 10 centimeter. 100 minus 10, you will get 90. That is how you get F into 90. So there are two forces in anti-clockwise movement. One force is due to the mass. Mass is 0.5 kg into the gravitational constant 10 Newton. So we need to multiply that. Once you multiply 0.5 kg into 10, you will get 5. Okay, and the second one is addition of F into 90 centimeter. You will get F into 90. Okay, so this 5, if you take on the opposite side, it will become 48 minus 5 and F into 90. So here the answer will come 43, and 43 is equal to F into 90. So if you take F, what will be F? F is equal to 43 divided by 90. You can take your calculus, it would be 4.477 newtons. That we can round it out to 0.48 newtons. 0.48 newtons. So you can see the force F is approximately equal to the force 0.5 newtons. So if you see the first diagram, so the anti-clockwise force is always equal to the clockwise force. So that is how we have solved the second question, second question, part 2. So this is how we solve the second question, part 2. Question 2, the part 3. We have reached the second question, the third part of the second question. In the second part, second question, second part, we had found out the force F. F is the force which is upward, and we found out that it is 0.48 newtons. Now we need to find out, they have given what is the resultant force. Resultant force is R, just above the pivot. The pivot, you will find the resultant force. Resultant force is always opposite to the action force. Okay, so this is the resultant force for what we need to calculate, that is R. So R, how we will be calculating? We will be using the same formula which we used in the second question, part 2. Okay, where we had used clockwise movement is equal to anti-clockwise movement. You are already aware what is clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement. You should always be accustomed with what is movement. Movement is equal to mgh. M is the mass, g is the gravitational acceleration, and h is the perpendicular distance. We have already seen that multiple times. Just I was giving you a brief. So we will be using the same equation. And a downward force, you can see the resultant force, there is a downward force. Okay, the resultant force is going on the top, is the upward movement. Now the downward movement we need to see. You can see the downward movement over here, it is showing 0.50 kg. So 0.50 kg you will write, plus the weight which is also acting downward. So this would be the weight of the uniform meter rule, and the weight of the uniform meter rule is 0.12 kg into into g. G we are taking rounding off to 10 meter per second, so that this quantity will get converted into Newton. So if you multiply this, you will get this 1.2 Newton. So on the left hand side, you have already seen the downward force 0.5 plus 1.2 newtons. Now let us come to the other part of the equation, upward force. Upward force is resultant force plus one more force what we found in the second question, part 2, the force F. So you can see over there, the force F is the upward force and the force R is also an upward force. So these two forces are the upward forces acting. So R, we are not aware what is R, we need to calculate what is R. So we will keep R plus force. Force we have seen in question 2, part 2, R plus, we had calculated over there, we had rounded out 0.48 newtons. So this 0.48 newtons, when it comes to the left hand side, it will get, the plus sign will get a minus sign, and you have to minus 1.7 newtons minus 4.48 newton is equal to R. So R, if you take on the left hand side, the answer, this answer, after negating the answer, you will get 1.22 newtons. So this is the resultant force what you have got, and this is the end of the second question. We have completed the third part, and this would be the end of the second questions. Thank you.